Hey everybody, PsyStarcraft here with another StarCraft 2 commentary. And this is going to be a commentary between MTW Dimaga and Mouz Hasu. Mouz being the same clan or team that Maro is a part of. And as you can see, although I am just as good as Dimaga, obviously, I am not in this replay. I just scrounged this up from the internets and I decided to cast it without having seen it just because it's a longer one. And if I were to go on and play right now, I couldn't guarantee that I'd get some longer games for you guys or even a good one for you. And to be honest, I'm kind of worn out today, so I'm taking the lazy path and just casting someone else's game. I know how much you guys love seeing me just because you can't really emulate anyone better than me. That's a joke. That's a joke. So hopefully this is a good game. It was highly downloaded, and I don't think any other casters are casting it, so that's good. Let me increase the sound here. I actually turned it down a little bit for another video I am planning on making. That's a surprise. So, Mouz. Maro, as you guys might know, is also in Mouz, as I said, and he was the winner of the Intel Extreme Masters Tournament. He ended up beating Idra 4-2, I want to say, or 3-1. 3-1, that's what it was. Spoiler alert. So that's like a delayed spoiler alert. You say it after you spoil something. It doesn't really work that way unless you have a time machine. Yeah, but you don't need to know that it was spoiled if I already spoiled it to you. So saying spoiler alert is kind of redundant, I guess, or not important. But we are seeing Hasu. I don't know if this is Hasuobs or not. I don't know if Hasuobs is still around or anything, but yeah. And I didn't really see the build either. I am just on the ball today, you can tell. I'm just watching the players and just saying exactly what they're doing. Oh, I love this. Oh my god. Oh my. I thought I was the only one that does this. Oh, I just creamed myself. Okay. So, Dimaga is sending this drone up to this patch. Now, watch what he does. Watch what he does. Okay, that's not it. Just watch. It's going to be this drone. This is going to be awesome. Pay attention. Pay attention. He's rallying the drone to this mineral patch. And, okay, so that drone starts mining. And so that's going to force this drone away to another mineral patch. But that would waste some time. He might bounce over here and then realize, oh, this guy's going to get that. He'd bounce over here and then bounce over here. Bounce all over the place. So what Dimaga did, this is completely nerdy, but this is exactly what I do. What he did is he selected this drone, and I guarantee you right now he is spamming right-click on that mineral patch. See that? See that? Oh, that's just so cool. And so that drone does not waste any time bouncing around. Perfect. I love that so much. This is my favorite game ever. Just because of that, Dimaga is my favorite player, and this is my favorite game. Because that's exactly what I do. And I thought like I was just some like eccentric nerd miner, drone miner or something like that, but I guess not. Oh, that's just so cool. That's a day 9 moment right there. Something so small that you just nut yourself over. RWK? That doesn't even make sense. We are seeing a cybernetics core and a pylon. Always gotta watch those destructible rocks. The first 6 lings from any player on this map always tend to gravitate towards this area and try to bust down those rocks just because against a Zerg player, you really have to wall off, man, because if you get, 6 speedlings in your base even, that's going to be a lot of dead probes, a lot of dead SCVs, and just overall havoc. And we are seeing, I'm pretty sure we saw a 15 pool, 14 gas, because this pulling off the gas after the speed is pretty standard for Zerg nowadays. And we are seeing that expansion as well. He's probably getting another queen pretty soon here. Yep, there it is. Perfect timing. So this is the build that you see from myself, you see from Idra, you see from pretty much any solid Zerg player is the 15, 14, pull 2 off gas, get the hatchery. It looks like he did put 2 more on gas a little bit sooner than he usually does. And the reason I'm focusing on the Zerg player so much is just because it's what I'm used to. I am not very objective at this point to other races. So I guess I'll try to cover the toss just for all you toss players out there as well. We are a forge. Okay, that's kind of unusual. Seeing a forge, so 1 gate, 1 cybernetics core obviously, and a forge. So maybe that's just to block this off as soon as he can. He is getting +1. Okay. Maybe we're going to see a +1 Zealot Sentry push. He is getting a Stalker as well, however. But that quick forge with that quick +1, it almost always means you're going to go for some kind of early push. There's that second gateway. There's that third gateway. Oh yeah, Psy is going to call this game. He needs to chrono boost that shit though. Is he going to do it? Looks like he might actually be saving his chrono boost. What did he... Ah, he's saving it for his +1. That's pretty cool. So he's going to be timing this. And so right when his +1 completes, he's going to be pushing out with, I'm guessing, a Zealot heavy army. There's that 4th gateway. So a 4-gate coming from Hasu. Dimaga, he does have a couple of lings out here. Always nice. You know, stick a ling on the watchtower, stick a ling on the watchtower. But always have a ling outside the base. Just so you know exactly when the enemy is pushing. One downside to this, though, is that Hasu could actually, like, fake it. He could just, like, send this stuff out here, kill the lings, and then, like, fake like he's running in and just run back. So Terran players will often do that just because Marines have long range. And we are seeing a lair, so looks like he put those drones back on gas quite fast to get a fast lair, and Hydras are just so darn effective against TOS gateway units, and that is exactly what Hasu is getting. Cool thing about Hydras is that the +1 attack on the Zealots don't make too much of a difference against Hydras. Let's see, 16 times 1, 2, 3, 4 would be 64, 5, 80. Actually, yeah, it would be. So they kill Hydras in one less shot with that +1. Not quite as effective as you would notice against Lings, where you kill Lings in 2 shots. So, yeah. But instead of 6 shots from a Zealot, it'll take 5 shots to kill a Hydra. Looks like he is starting to bust down that back door. We are seeing... Now, Dimaga can see the Rock's health. He can't really see too many of the attack animations. He can see these 2 beams, and I don't see him reacting to this at all. There we go. Now he sees it. He's going to be moving the Hydras back to the back wall and hopefully shooting down these forces. No, it looks like he realizes the Rocks are going to be destroyed before he can get his Hydras in here to push the Zealots away, and now he's going to have to defend. 8 Hydras and 8 Lings against a lot of gateway units. Holy cow, I don't know how Dimaga is going to survive this. Nice force fields, catching half the Hydras within range of those Zealots. Although not too many Zealots. I would have liked to see a couple more. They're very strong against Hydras and Lings. Queen goes down. And man, are we seeing any production? 2 Hydras and 2 Lings. Bunch of Hydras just pop out, so that was pretty good timing. 3 Hydras alive against 5 Sentries and 4 Stalkers now. You seeing any rallied units? No, he should be transferring the Spines up right away. Overlord dying. 2 more Hydras coming out. He might have to pull off some drones to stay alive here. Man, this is just overwhelming. That +1 is complete as well. I do not see how Dimaga is going to survive this. 28 Lings. Holy crap. Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay. Okay. Something happened. Something happened here, because there's no way he should have that much larva at that hatchery. Man, that's really strange. I wonder why he had so much larva at the hatchery. Okay, either one, he is purposely preparing that much larva. That's good timing though. He's pushing out right when the building dies so he can get assisted by his broodlings. Either he's timing, or either he forgot to hotkey his hatchery, and so the larva just stacked up, but he did hotkey his queen, and so he was injecting the whole time. Or he purposely stacked up larva, and so he could react to this kind of push, but I'm kind of hesitant to say that just because he didn't react that well. A lot of drones died. If you look at the harvester count, is 26 to 15, so I have a feeling he just forgot to hotkey the hatchery or forgot to train out of it, because that was just crazy. He had like 14 larvae on that single hatchery. But hey, it makes for an interesting game. He was able to fend off that attack. 17 to 26 harvesters now, seeing some more production of drones and some more Hydras. And given how much damage Hasu did against Dimaga, I'd just like to see him just continue to put on the pressure. The expansion is actually completely defenseless right now, but Hasu does not know that. 2 Spines are going to poke away at these Stalkers and force him out. No expansion coming down at the time. He does get a Ling in somehow. Must have been just ran in the front door. Do some scouting. Does see that Robo-Bay coming up. And here we go. Now Hasu is coming in the back door. But a decent number of Hydras. They can no longer run. And man, that Spine, at least it was able to tank damage, even though it wasn't able to get all the way into the ground. 3 Lings, tanking a little bit. And he can just continue to warp in units at this proxy pylon. Dimaga's just got to keep the Lings coming, man. Some Hydras with that range, I'm assuming. No range yet, actually. And the Queen's like, no, let me in, I want to help. The drone's like, I need to mine. And pushing these forces away. At least he was able to spread the creep out here. Man, if he did not have these creep tumors, it would be GG right now. Because Hydras, they can't do squat unless they are on creep, especially in these numbers against this kind of gateway army. But man, Dimaga is extremely resilient at this point. These Hydras are doing a great job of pushing them away. 5 kills on that Hydra. 1 kill, 2 kills, 1 kill. So, hey, don't I'll let you out, man. Just scratch the door. Come here. Come on. Come on. Go. 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 There you go. Okay, sorry about that. Minimap, nothing happening. So, Cat was like clawing at the carpet. Could just scratch at the door or like meowed or something. Terrible saturation at the main. Expansion's looking a little bit better. He's still way behind in the harvester count. Now only down 3 actually. He just pumped out a little wave of units. And man, I don't know why Hasu isn't expanding. I think he's trying a little bit too hard to just finish the game outright at this point. He knows he did tons of economic damage to Dimaga. He knows Dimaga might be overreacting a little bit on his unit production. Yeah, we are seeing that. 4 Zealots and 4 Stalkers against 8 Hydras and 15 Lings. Of course, there's no way that Dimaga would know to push out at this point. If he did push out, he'd actually do a pretty good job. No excess probe production here, so when that Nexus does come up, he's not going to have the best transfer. And look at this, he's actually almost out at his main. So that's kind of weird. Spending all of his resources on this Colossus and on that Chrono boosted Thermal Lances. Wouldn't be surprised if he moves out once he gets 1 or 2 Colossi. Colossi? Colossi and Colossus combined. Colossi. Now producing a Spire, perhaps because he spotted that. I did spot the Robobay. I guess he's assuming Colossus are coming out next. Colossi still sticking with his Hydraling army. Saturation looking a little bit better at his main. So despite all that early pressure, all that drone destruction, I think Hasu kind of made a misstep trying to just push in and push in and push in instead of saying, okay, I've got a nice little lead here. Let me just expand, tech up a little bit, and then push out once I have a superior economy. So he has let Dimaga back in this game. So I'd say it's pretty even at this point, and if not even, just because I saw the Spire, I think Dimaga has a slight lead because Corruptors are so good against Colossi, and he's actually very light on the anti-air, so Mutas would even do a good job as well. There's that transfer, pretty heavy transfer, and I agree with that just because his main is nearly mined out, so you know you want to get as much mining efficiency as you can. Any more upgrades on that forge? No, we are seeing an observer. Does he have a second Colossus? Yeah, so he's got 2 Colossi now. As I suspected, he is now moving out, sort of. Yeah, he's moving out. Lots of creep tumors. I love it. I love it. Does Dimaga see this? Does he have any air to respond to this? He's getting 3 Corruptors, 2 more Hydras, and a Roach Warren as well. Might as well throw down the Roach Warren. I mean, it's only 150 minerals, and Roaches are pretty good, so sort of. Looks like Hasu's not going to risk pushing in. He's going to send in the Observer to do some scouting, first of all. And he doesn't want to risk, like, I don't know. I don't know why he's not pushing in, actually. He's got a lot of Zealots, man. A lot of Zealots, 2 Colossi, a few Stalkers and Sentries in the mix as well. And he's like, not even... That's not anything, man. Go in there. Okay, that's a lot. Never mind. Yeah, I guess he would get pretty well owned right there. Those Corruptors are so strong against Colossi. 20 damage. And they only have 350 life. Well, I guess that's a lot, but... Man, he's got so many Corruptors. I actually played one game where my enemy was going Corruptors, or Colossi. I knew that. So I got like 18 Corruptors, and I was like, dude, you're freaking Colossi. You're going to get spanked so hard. The entire game, he made 2 Colossi. And they just completely stomped me with just like Stalkers and Zealots. It was hilarious. I totally overcommitted on Corruptors. And I think it'd be funny to see Dimaga do the same thing. But it looks like he's going to be switching it up to Roaches, while Hasu will be switching to Templar, High Templar, which are basically good against anything Zerg, except Ultras. God damn. Damn. Overseer moving out. Kind of a standstill at this point. No charge, no blink. I think charge would be a good investment. He's got a lot of Zealots, man. Charge would be awesome. Nice combination. Roach, Hydra, Zergling with some Corruptors. Let's see an Infestation Pit, 5 more expansions, and a Greater Spire, and then like 50 Broodlords. I think that would win the game. You can get 50 Broodlords because each Broodlord is 4 food. Times 50 is 200, and 200 is max. You would have to kill off all your drones, but I'd say it's a pretty solid investment. Just make sure your opponent doesn't have 1 air unit, because if you get 50 Broodlords and your opponent has an air unit, you're probably going to win still just because the Broodlords kill stuff so fast, but you can't attack air with Broodlords. This kind of sucks. This Changeling, let's follow the life of this cute little Changeling. No? Okay, whatever. Dimaga now breaking down the destructible debris in the bottom right. This debris up here is still unbroken, so I wonder if he's going to kill the debris anytime soon. So look at the unit tab. Actually, let's look at the army tab. Wow, Dimaga is just towering over him in army size. But do not be deceived. 24 roaches with 2 food each. That is 48 food just with this tiny amount of roaches. And they aren't like an overwhelming unit. They're not as good as Zealots. They're not as good as Stalkers. Not as good as Templar. Or Sentries. So don't be fooled by this huge Zerg army. A lot of it is just roaches. And Storm is just like so good. One thing I like about roaches is if you get Burrow and you get your regenerating claws, tunneling claws there, you can actually almost out-heal Storm. I think you might actually be able to out-heal Storm. Storm does 20 damage a second, I believe. Yeah. So you're slightly less than out-healing Storm, but it's still awesome because you can burrow and then like run around and dodge the storms while you're healing tons of life. So if you guys are ever like having problems dealing with Storm, either get Mutas to try to pick off the Templar and get Ultralisks or Broodlords tier 3, which isn't as realistic, or get Roaches with Tunneling Claws. It's actually really effective. Still at quite the standstill. Dimaga not really spreading creep anymore. His creep is a little bit slow this game, and I don't blame him at all, just because with the type of game that they had in the very beginning, you kind of lose that state of mind where, like, you know, you're keeping on every single macro, injecting and creep tumor spreading and all that good stuff. We are seeing attack and armor on his roaches. I don't think we're going to be seeing any tier 3 this game from Dimaga. The reason I say that is because he's still off 2 base, just now getting his 3rd base, and usually when a player plans for tier 3, they'll choose to get that melee attacks instead of the range attacks. Right now picking off a couple of stray pylons. I do think he should be scouting this high yield, or even just down here. He does have that covered, it looks like, yeah, with that Zergling. Because he has no way of knowing if Hasu has had this up forever or not. So it's kind of weird. I'm surprised he didn't scout that a little bit sooner. Corruptor's now moving out. Still very low anti-air. But these Templar, look at this, look at this. All of these Corruptors, well, almost all of them have like 200 energy. I really want to see some feedbacks from these Templar. That'll make the Colossi just like dominate everything. Yes, we are going to see that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 feedbacks. Oh, that was amazing. 5 feedbacks killing 4 Corruptors. Man, that was awesome. One downside to having just tons of energy is against Templar, and I don't like where this is going for Dimaga. He's got a nice concave. Look at this beautiful spread of units. And if we look at his hotkeys, he's got his Hydras on 1, Roaches on 2, and Corruptors on 3, so he can spread them out pretty well. He will have to manage them a little bit, you know, like tell Roaches to spread out and then Hydras to spread out. But man, Hasu is just taking them off slowly, slowly, slowly. And we're going to see some more feedbacks on these. No, it looks like he did waste that corruption on those Protoss units, so no more feedback. And the armies are now relatively even. 122 to around 150 from the Toss player. Toss does have more workers though, so the Zerg army is actually holding strong at this point. Nice Corruptors, reproducing several Corruptors, and those Storms, man, just doing so much damage as well. But that was just kind of a weird battle in general. Losing track of these Hydras and Corruptors a little bit. Sniping off those Hydras, a couple Corruptors. Is he going to try to kill any more? No! 4 Archons in play, however. And those are some of the tankiest beasts in the game just because they are pure psionic. Nothing does bonus damage to them. And man, they're just like mopping up these Roaches. However, they are in the front line taking a lot of damage from the Roaches and the Hydras as well. And at this point, this is anyone's game, really. I want to see some more Colossi in the field, some more Storm. Nice Storm, the first one was. The second one, not so good. Doing a lot of friendly fire damage. But man, Dimaga is just macroing like a pro, continuing to inject. Look at that larva popping out, and we're probably going to see like an injection pretty soon too. Corruptor's a little bit useless at this point, just kind of hovering over the battlefield. Another very nice Psystorm. Man, 4 kills from that Psystorm. That guy just warped in, and he's like badass. I just warped in. I'm going to get 4 kills. What? There's that inject. Heavy gas on the third base. Even though it's a high yield, man, that Zerg, they still need gas like crazy. Are we seeing a transfer? Yeah, we're seeing a transfer down there. And, let me see. Whose position do I like at this point? I still think I like the Toss's position. I mean, it looks like he's outnumbered on the surface, just so many roaches. But I still like, you know, his position. These guys got a nice little fortification up here. Some Templar raking in the energy. And he's got better saturation on this third base, so I don't know, maybe based on his play earlier though, he's not as strong of a player, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Have not seen this game, so nice saturation there actually. Maybe going to pick up a 4th base pretty soon, and it just looks like he isn't macroing very well. This is kind of strange. What are we seeing out of the Toss player? We're seeing +2 attack and armor upgrades from the Zerg player. 4th Nexus going down for Hasu, but not really making any units. It's kind of weird. What does he even have? 10 Stalkers, 4 Templar, 1 Immortal, and 5 Zealots. Immortal is a nice response to these roaches. There's that Burrow. Does he have the Tunneling Claws yet? He just now finishes Tunneling Claws. We might see this game end with a Tunneling Claws under a Protoss army with a fancy little Unburrow and death, death, kill, kill to all. Oh, I want to see that so badly. Kind of got another little miniature standstill here. Corruptors looks like they're going to be scouting a tidbit, seeing that 4th Nexus being put up. And here comes the Protoss force, killing off 1 Creep Tumor, 2 Creep Tumors being killed off. Very nice. Can nullify the effectiveness of this Zerg force, slowing them down quite a bit. And it's kind of weird, like roaches will gain 0.9 speed on creep. Hydras will gain 1.12 speed on creep. So the creep bonus is not a set amount. It differs based on the unit. Hydras benefiting much more from creep than roaches. And of course queens, obviously they're going to get a huge ass speed bonus because they are just so damn slow off of creep. Corruptors wish they could be on creep, but they fly. Looks like we might be seeing a confrontation. No, still no confrontation. Even though Dimaga is so roach heavy, man, I don't know what those Immortals are going to do. Sniping off another Creep Tumor. And I don't understand why he doesn't research Blink at this point. He's got 1,200 minerals, 500 gas. Where are your units, Hasu? You got some Templar, that's pretty good. How many Robo Bays does he have? Robo Facilities. Still only 1 Robo Facility. I don't know if he's Chrono boosting that at all. Getting 3 more Gateways. Heavy into the Warp Gates. Still only 1 attack upgrade. Why are you getting attack? Who are you? Who are you, man? Who are you? Changeling running in, pretending to be a Zealot, and apparently it's going to work. Are we going to see Burrow? I totally want to see some Burrow here. This is just a tiny army compared to what Dimaga has. It's all going to depend on the Psystorms that he's able to lay down. Tons of Hydras down there. Roaches in the back. He doesn't want that. He does shift his army so that Roaches are in the front once again. I wouldn't be surprised to see some Burrow in response to these Psystorms that are going to be coming in. A lot of Hydras, a lot of Roaches. +2, +2. That's going to be so deadly against this poorly upgraded Protoss army. So I said the Protoss player was in the lead earlier. I've got to give this game to Dimaga at this point. Even with that 4th base, I just... man, it's hard to say. I just feel like Dimaga can win this. Although this Dark Templar might be a little bit tricky. This Overseer looks to be patrolling. Coming down to that high yield where that died Templar, now dead Templar, was going to be extremely annoying. And I don't know, it's going to be close. Killing another something with the light. Oh, it's an Observer. Killing that Observer. And here we go, the final battle. 1 nice Psystorm. Feedback on the Overseer, not going to do too much. Another Psystorm hitting 2 or 3 roaches, backing out from the 3rd High Templar Storm. And wow, these Hydras are like down there. They're just now joining the fight. Lots of wonderful Psystorms. Just so many of them. They've had tons of time to save the energy while they were chilling by that Zelnaga Watchtower. And yeah, this is going to be Protoss' game, Hasuobs. So I was right the first time, wrong the second time, right the third time. Dimaga just doesn't have anything left. This just seemed like a very poor macro game on both players' sides. 1100 gas as a Zerg player, and he had the high yield. Oh, why didn't you become a hive? Yeah. But I hope you guys enjoyed this longer game. Did not see it before. It was an okay game. I'll say that. But I think the macro on both sides was a little bit sluggish. But I hope you enjoyed it. Generic sign off here.